You've worked hard to earn and save. Now it's time to make your money work hard for you. This is Empower Your Retirement with Frank and Frankie Guida of A Better Way Financial.
When it comes to our retirement and our future, we should be having a good time. We should be thinking about all the fun that is yet to come in our future. But of course, when it comes to paying taxes, there is no fun. there is no F-U-N in the word T-A-X. And it is that time of year. It is tax season. Just a few weeks away is the deadline. A name that you, dear listener, are familiar with probably if you listen to the show, as he is one we've heard from many times on this radio program, is Ed Slott. He actually started his career preparing others' income taxes. But now, Mr. Slott is considered a guru on tax planning. The difference there, preparing versus planning. Here is what he told Morningstar about his early days as a CPA.
Every year they came in, I'd say, oh, you know what you could have done? Oh, you should have done this. Oh, you missed that. And it hit me that who wants to hear what I could have, would have, should have done? You can't go back unless you had a time machine. So I realized I was looking backwards, reactive. And that's when everything changed for me. I said, wouldn't it be more valuable if I did tax planning instead of tax preparation? And that opened up the whole world of adding value, tax planning, looking ahead.
This guy is saying the things that I've heard you guys say over and over again, the idea of preparing versus planning, because you guys, you're not CPAs, but you do have very strong opinions and thoughts on tax planning. So can you give us some examples of the value that is tax planning?
Yeah. Well, Heather, first time I saw Ed Slott live, it must have been 20 years ago. It had to be somewhere around there. Yeah. And he was the same. He was the same exact thing. And the things he told me always stuck with me. And we share that with folks today. In fact, I go in front of workshops all the time, and I talk to people. And usually I'm talking about these other companies that they give it financial advice. The big companies, and they're trying to show you how to invest your funds and all of that. And I tell them, well, take a look at what it says at the bottom of each of their sheets of paper. And it usually says something like, consult your tax advisor. And then I'll ask people, well, who do you think your tax advisor is? And, a lot of people will say they're accountant. And then I'll say, well, actually, that's not who they're referring to here. And then I explain the difference, just like Ed did. What's the difference between an accountant and a tax planner? Yeah. An accountant is always looking in the rearview mirror, and he's trying to save you money on taxes for last year. And what about a tax planner? Well, a tax planner is looking through the windshield, and he's saying, how do we rearrange things so that we pay the least amount of taxes throughout our lifetime? And sometimes I'll ask the crowd, is there any accountants here? And a couple, every once in a while, a couple will raise their hands and say, well, will you back me up on that? And they're like, well, yeah, that's true. Just like Ed was saying here, so it's important to do the right things so that you can save the most amount of taxes. And, we say that we have a lot of fun here at A Better Way Financial. When you talk to folks and you show them how to save a significant amount of taxes, what's the first thing they do? They smile, they laugh. Everybody feels like they've already paid their fair share.
Sure.
Yeah, and if it's, somebody saying, oh, you could have done this, you would have done this, you should have done this, well, that doesn't make them feel good.
No,
right.
Exactly.
But if you say, here's where you're at today, here's what we can do going forward. These are the options we have to maximize your retirement plan and minimize your taxes over the course of your lifetime. Well, now that's something they can get behind. That's something they're like, all right, I'm excited. Let's do it. What can we do to make this better? And we look at some of the things that they got going on. Some people have incredible plans through work that they might get a stock plan. They might have a restricted stock option, or they might have a non-qualified or qualified stock options. And we look through and we say, okay, well, here's what's going on. If they have long-term capital gains, they have stocks that they've held, and maybe they had NVIDIA for the past 20 years and it's done really, really well. We look at, all right, well, how do we make sure that we're utilizing the capital gains tax brackets to our advantage and making sure that we're doing it efficiently? And looking into it, most of those people who have that higher income threshold are looking at paying somewhere between 20 and 37% in taxes over their ordinary income taxes. And then we look into their long-term capital gains tax bracket, we get that in 15 to 20%. So able to significantly reduce some of those taxes by utilizing the tax planning strategies with the long-term capital gains.
And then we have those folks, they come in and, some of them have a large portion of their portfolio in the bank, CDs or what have you, and they're paying ordinary income taxes on that, like Frankie said, and they're really high. They could be paying substantially less in capital gains taxes if they put some of those in the market, that type of thing, and keep those investments for a year or longer and pay lower tax rates.
Yeah, and that's just one of the strategies that we have, one of the things that we do here. We also look at how to take the money out when they need that money in their retirement. Which accounts are we going to be able to do this most efficiently from, whether it's from an IRA, whether it's from a 401k, whether it's from a non-qualified and after-tax type account, or whether it's from the Roth. We look into it and make sure that we're always setting the client up for success and minimizing their tax bill over their lifetime. We help them find out how much they can save into their 403b or 401k by looking at the limits each year. They just added this new law that if you're between 60 and 63, you can actually contribute more into your 401k and 403b than you previously were able to do. So making sure that you're adjusting those to account for those limit changes. And, some of the other strategies we look into are Roth conversions. We look into seeing what options do you have with that. You have the money in the 401k, in the IRA. If we continue to leave it there, you're going to be following Uncle Sam's tax plan where it continues to grow, and then you're stuck paying a ton of money in taxes over your lifetime. And then when you leave it to the kids, they're stuck paying a lot in taxes. We look at how to convert that and transition that tax-free over one's retirement so that you're making your portfolio not only more tax efficient for your retirement, but also for the next generation after. And if your advisor is not talking to you about the strategies you can use to save money in taxes, you're likely paying thousands, possibly even hundreds of thousands of dollars more in taxes than you need to. You need to come in, have a tax plan drawn up for you where we can show you with strategies you can use to minimize your tax burden while maximizing your probability of success in your retirement. And we're going to be offering this right now. So if you're 55 and older and you've saved $500,000 or more for your retirement, give us a call right now for your complimentary tax plan and review. That number is 610-440-3722. That's 610-440-3722 for your complimentary tax plan and review.
Yeah. And remember, Frankie, the couple that came in the other day? Couple from Bethlehem. They were younger, but he had lost his job. I mean, he was, he got downsized. He was 55. In fact, she was 55 too, but she was still working. And they were trying to figure out what to do, And so we took a look at their financial plans. It's a nice couple. They were younger, couple of kids in their 20s, but, like I said, he got downsized. She was still working. She was making about $110K a year. And, he wanted to go find a job and, and get back to work. They just didn't know what to do. Sure. But these guys were good. They had saved a nice portfolio. Okay. I think they were a little over $1.9 million in their portfolio. Yeah. And they told us they wanted to live on about $95,000 a year after tax income and have that income keep going up with inflation and all that. So, we said, all right, let's take a look. We looked at their Social Security. Together, when they turned 67, it would be $69,000 a year. We used the tax planning strategies that we just talked about. All of these different types of things. We showed them how to use long-term capital gains. We took money from the bank and put it into market growth. We showed them how to distribute money properly, how to take money out when they needed to take it out so that it would come out in the most tax-favored fashion. We even showed them an annuity that would pay them an income like a pension. Mm-hmm. And the little kicker with this thing is that this thing was able to be Roth converted later on in life so that the income would start out from their IRA and it would be taxable. But then once the funds inside had gotten low enough, we were going to Roth convert it. And that would cost very little because we waited for the money in the annuity to go down, but still pay out the same payment that it was paying them. And when that money came out, it was now going to come out tax-free, which was really, really exciting for them.
Yeah, I mean, the tax planning strategies we were able to use made a huge impact on their retirement. We were able to make it so that their portfolio continued to grow more and more tax efficient and more tax-free over the course of their retirement. And by utilizing these strategies, we showed them how they were projected to save over $600,000 over the course of their retirement years and save their kids about $1.9 million projected in taxes. So about $2.5 million between them and their kids with about a $2 million portfolio.
Wow.
So if you're not watching the taxes, if you're not looking at the tax picture, you could be potentially spending hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars more on taxes than you need to. It's so crucial to have this planning done that it can make a huge difference. And by utilizing our tax planning strategies and investment recommendations, we were able to show them that if they were planning to work till age 60, if she was planning to work till age 60, they could live on $108,000. So $13,000 more of income each year.
Got it.
Or if she was fed up with work and didn't want to do it anymore, she could retire now. And even at age 55.
And him too.
And he's already retired. And she could retire now. And from age 55 to 95, another 40 years, they can enjoy their retirement together. They did an excellent job saving. And we could just show them that you did good. We're going to be able to do the planning and take a lot of that worry out of it. And your job is just pretty much enjoy it. So this is what we do for folks. We show them how to make sure that their portfolio is working tax efficiently, and so that they don't have to stress in retirement, am I going to be able to get that income? Am I going to be able to have the money that I need? And we show them that. We show them how to make sure that it's going to be able to work for them with the portfolio set up for them. So if you have not had a tax planning review drawn up for you, if you have an advisor and they have not looked through your tax situation showing you how to minimize your tax burden, if you do it yourself and you haven't figured out what strategies you can use or how to optimize your tax situation for you, let us do it for you. All you have to do is give us a call, 610-440-3722. If you're 55 and older and you save $500,000 or more for your retirement, give us a call right now, 610-440-3722.
Your job is to enjoy your retirement. I like that idea, Frankie. In fact, it should be the only job that you have in retirement. Your job is to enjoy it. When it comes to the work of figuring it all out in a plan, that's the job of the guys and gals at A Better Way Financial who are here and ready to get to work with and for you. Again, that number you're dialing, 610-440-3722.
Thanks for listening to Empower Your Retirement with Frank and Frankie Guida. To learn more, visit abetterwayfinancial.com.
By contacting us, we'll review aspects of your retirement portfolio to include suggestions about how best to utilize estate, tax, and retirement planning strategies and other financial services, or if changing management styles is appropriate for your specific needs and objectives. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendations to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. A Better Way Financial is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Any client experiences discussed during this show are unique to that client, and they are not meant to imply or suggest you will experience the same results. Advisory services offered through A Better Way Financial. Insurance offered through licensed professionals at A Better Way Financial. Pennsylvania Insurance License number 301779.